Hey everybody, thanks for stopping in the garage. So we have a yard machine 21-inch 550EX. Now, I think this one already appeared on the channel, but I can't keep track. About a month or so ago, a fella dropped this off, customer dropped it off, and it wasn't running right. There was water in the fuel. It had been neglected, it had been sitting, and we went over the whole thing, made it mint, beautiful. It's still in good shape. Used it a couple of times, and it stopped working. So it does not start. I checked the gas real quick. I've just peeked in there, and the gas looks like it's okay, but the first thing I always like to do, you just don't trust it. This is my suction device tool. So I'm gonna pull that gas out and inspect it. And we're gonna pull the top off, and the top is just 3 bolts. I forget what size it is, because I don't pay attention. I'll tell you, but you should have a toolkit. It's 3 bolts. Pull the top off, and we're gonna go and pull the plug out, and then we're gonna set up to do a spark test. Right? I don't think it's fuel because I've already cleaned this thing out. I made it mint. All right. I suspect it's spark. And we'll also check the ignition cable and all that. Now, I already went through that, but we're in here to fix it. So let's find out why. Stay tuned. Let me suck the gas out. I'll see you in a minute. All right, gas looks good. Maybe a little old, but there's nothing wrong with it. But look what I found. Let's see if we can get you to see it. There is a little piece of junk. A piece of carbon or something that has jumped between the 2 electrodes. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but there's just a bit of junk in here. Let me take a closer look at this, and we'll clean out this plug and check for a spark in a bit.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Okay, just to show you fellas how I like to do it. So the top comes right off, like I said. It's just those 3 bolts, right? And for me, it's easier. I can check it with my drill set up, and I have it set with where the bolt that holds the chuck on is off. So if the motor, when I want to start these engines, the motor kicks, which it will, what it'll do is it'll spin the chuck off, and I won't get hurt because it could get stuck, it could lock, and it will screw up your wrist and could break your wrist, your fingers. So yeah, we got plenty of spark. While we're here, though, that was the problem. But we'll do a quick compression test. All right, I gapped this plug to like 30 thousandths. You can put a little no seize on the plug. It's a good idea, or a little grease. Just don't get it all over the tip of the plug. Just put it a few threads back on the threads of the plug. Now, when you get a new plug, these are gasket style plugs, so they're gonna need to be compressed. I'll show you. Let me just check. I'll let you know. Yeah, we got plenty. 75 psi. No issue there. Now let me show you what I do when installing a plug. So it's a good idea. This plug was in good shape. This machine was in really good shape. It had not really been used. So yeah, there's still plenty of no-sees on those threads. So I cleaned it up, but what'll happen is they're not used, so you're going to get carbon buildup. And carbon is conductive, especially when it bridges the gap. That's it. Basically shorted out the plug. Now let me show you. I'm going to tighten it up. See, now I'm starting to compress the gasket. And go a little bit more. It feels like it's going to strip, but believe me, it's not going to. Right? Don't use one of these banger tools. A fellow actually asked me about it. He wants me to service this machine. I got to call him. Let's see. I think I'm going to call him tomorrow. He's got a tractor and he screwed up. See, it's still compressing. Feels like it's going to strip. Just go slow. That's it. Okay, it's seated. You got to do that. You got to remember to do that. A lot of people don't have torque wrenches. I forget what the torque reading is, but most people don't have one. So, yeah, that plug wire is like a little tight. So my suspicion was it might have been the coil, but it's not. So I'm going to put the fuel back in, and we put this top back down. What's one of the beauties of these motors, I got to say, is it's so easy to clean these motors. Remember, they're air cooled. They're oil and air cooled. So they're air cooled, and by taking the top off, you can hose everything out, blow it out with some compressed air or your leaf blower, wash the machine down, leave it outside on a day like today to dry. It'll be fine, okay? And this blower is cooling the engine. If all that junk is in there, it's not going to cool the engine. Now, the oil is a lubricant, but it sloshes around the engine, takes the heat from different areas, equalizes it, because you got your hot spots, you got your cooler spots, and then the air, that's how it gets rid of it. So you'll beat up your oil, you'll beat up your engine. Beating up your oil is going to beat up your engine. Let's get this on, get the gas back in, we'll bring it outside for a test. Stand by. All right, so it's automatic choke, so we shouldn't have to do anything but pull it. Pull it. You know, let's check the oil. Even though I did it already, but let's just take a peek. She's fine. She's clean, clear. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, fellas. Now this is a pretty rare condition. I've seen it before. I've seen it before when I was much younger with a lot of these older, like 8-cylinder and 6-cylinder car engines, truck engines and stuff that I'd be working on. And the oil was terrible in the 60s and 70s. And what you would often see is a lot of carbon buildup and sludge, literal sludge. You pull a rock cover off and, of an engine, and you'd have to take out a scraper and a screwdriver just to get it to bolts. I mean, it was really bad. And of course, those motors started to blow, oil. They blow smoke after a while. And that carbon would just be everywhere. Very carbonized engines in those days. And things have gotten a lot better. So probably what happened here, and let's take another look at it with a different camera. Take a look at that plug again. And probably what happened here is he hadn't used it in a long time. Brought it to me, and I got this thing all cleaned up and fixed up, full service and tune. Didn't run, and water in the gas, a bunch of other stuff. Somebody had hands on this thing. They borked the carburetor that was on there. Had to replace that. He put the wrong plug in. There was a number of things on that. I don't know if I've released that video yet, but got it running again. And because it had been sitting, and I like to use a lot of my, I always like to pour a bit of my special tranny flavored sauce in there, which is just transmission fluid and gasoline 50-50. And I kind of slosh that around. That can loosen up carbon. And I think what happened was he started cutting his lawn, and then he said he shut it off and went to come back out and to start it, and it never started again. So he may have used it once or twice. Probably a piece of carbon loosened up. And in the combustion chamber, that would be glowing red. So it could create pre-ignition, post-ignition. He probably wouldn't have noticed it. And a piece got lodged right into between the electrodes, and the engine was probably still firing. It was glowing red hot, so it would light the fuel. And he shut it off. It got stuck in there, solidified. It was real hard. Even when I went to go gap the plug, it was almost difficult to knock it off because it was almost like welded in there. But it got hard and solidified, and then he went to start it. And well, that didn't happen. It didn't start. So simple problem and a weird, rare event, but it does happen. So keep your oil changed and, clean your stuff every now and then and replace the spark plug. This was all clean spark plug. Everything was good to go. Everything was mint. Put another plug in. That was the end of it. So hopefully, I think this is interesting. That's why I wanted to put it out there on YouTube. And hopefully it was helpful. Certainly just interesting to observe. So I'll see you guys on the next one. That's it for this one. And hit the like and subscribe. And, let's build the channel together and push old Arch's Garage a little bit deeper into the algorithm. And I will see you fellas and ladies. Lady, because it's like one or two. I'll see you on the next one. Yeah, Arch's Garage. See you guys later.